Straight ahead on 12 News, the most talked about spot in New Hope. Now there's talk about what could move into the former Kmart site. Then, change of plans. The new option to solve overcrowding at Basswood Elementary School. But first,
it comes out of my vacation time or my comp time.
The cold spell that's freezing parents out of options. 12 News starts right now.
Hello everyone, I'm Shannon Slatton.
And I'm Alexandra Renslow. We'll get to that story in just a minute, but first, the Osseo School District has changed its proposal to address overcrowding at a Maple Grove Elementary School. The new proposal would only move kids who are open enrolled at Basswood Elementary over to Oakview Elementary. Students entering 4th or 5th grade would have the option to stay at Basswood until they move to junior high, and all future open enrollment at Basswood would close. The previous proposal involved changing a boundary line and moving more than 100 Basswood kids who live in the neighborhood. They would move over to Oakview. Many parents were unhappy with that proposal, arguing that it didn't make sense to move neighborhood kids to a new school while open enrolled kids would get to stay.
And now back to our story of the cold weather. You may be tired of that cold, but it's not tired of you.
That's right. Here we go again. For the third day, or for the third time this month, rather, morning temperatures in the Northwest Metro closed area schools, they reached 19 below zero. Those temperatures, the wind chill made it feel more like 40 below. And if you think this winter is unusually cold, you're right. This is the coldest January since 1994. And as we mentioned, the extreme cold is why every district in the Northwest Metro called off school Thursday, the third time this school year that's happened.
That's unreal. Reporter Sonia Goen shows us how another cold day is causing stress for parents.
Shelby Wolf is the Deputy Fire Marshal for the West Metro Fire Department. She's also a mom with 2 school-age children.
Our kids were only two-hour delay. I was actually kind of surprised because we're kind of out in the country and we got the wind blowing and everything else.
With the 2-hour delay, Shelby had to put out a different kind of fire, trying to figure out what to do with the kids.
I told my husband, we don't have response, so I'm going to have to go into work. You got to stay home for 2 hours.
Shelby has taken time off to stay with the kids during the other snow days, and it's starting to take a toll.
It comes out of my vacation time or my comp time.
Have you done that before?
Daycare centers also had to spring into action at the last minute. The New Horizons Academy in Plymouth was packed with extra children.
We scrambled and figured it out.
All 56 centers in the metro had extra kids because of the school closings.
22 extra. We would have normally had 0 in this classroom at this time of day.
The daycare center also had to move staff around.
Our ratio in a school age program is 1 to 15. So when we exceed 15 children, we need to have 2 staff. I would have had no staff in here.
They also had to come up with some creative ways to entertain the extra children they were not expecting. Some chose to play in their make-believe igloo, while others got creative with Play-Doh.
The children are playing with Play-Doh, and I actually had one of our children bring me a strawberry pie not too long ago. Play-Doh strawberry pie, can't beat that.
Hey, but the extra day off wasn't really all bad news. Commuters say it was a breeze coming into work this morning.
I think the lack of school buses, and there were a lot less cars on the road with parents bringing their kids into school. So it was definitely a lot easier than a normal day. I was not complaining, not at all.
In Plymouth, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
And we are expecting to have extreme temps on Monday and Tuesday as well.
So parents might want to think of a backup plan just in case school is canceled again on those days as well. Contract talks between Anoka-Hennepin teachers and the school district have now reached a critical point. The teachers union says the district's nearly 3,000 teachers will now only complete work during school hours as required by contract. That means no grading papers, checking emails, or tweaking those lesson plans after hours. The two sides have met 13 times trying to reach a deal on the new 2-year contract. The impasse is largely over pay and work conditions.
In Golden Valley, there's some disappointment after an apartment project approved by the city falls through. City Manager Tom Burt says the developer behind the Tiburon apartment project backed out due to lack of financing. The building plan was for market rate apartments at Highway 169 and Olson Memorial Highway. Council members expressed disappointment because they felt it would have filled a housing need for younger professionals. Not all is lost, however. The city manager says 2 other housing developers have come forward expressing interest in the site. It is the talk of New Hope. What will happen to the old Kmart property?
We now have more of an idea. Developers presented 3 very diverse options at Wednesday night's special session.
It's been about a year since the old Kmart store came down in New Hope, leaving a blank slate of city property and 14 acres of possibility.
You can essentially recreate yourself in that area. So, I mean, there's a lot of work to do.
During Wednesday night's special session, city council members got the first look at what developers could do.
There were 3 very, very different plans.
The first plan, presented by Amcon Construction, shows an apartment complex with 130 units with underground parking, plus a new city hall and a medical office building. The second presentation by the Beard Group included for-sale townhomes, apartments, some retail, plus a government building that could be a new city hall, police station, and an office for the Robbinsdale School District. Pavilions would also be home to the city's farmers market. The third option came together only days ago when Anderson Company started working with a new grocery store chain that wants to establish a presence in the Twin Cities. The city says these options are just a starting point, and the final plan could look much different than what was presented here on Wednesday.
We asked all 3 developers to try to find a grocery option. We only saw 1 proposal with a grocery option. We suggested all 3 proposals have medical. Well, we saw 1 with medical. So, it's hard to put it all together and do it all in one 14-acre development.
On February 3rd, the City Council will meet in special session to discuss every option.
North Hennepin Community College in Brooklyn Park now has an interim president. The Board of Trustees of the Minnesota State Colleges and Universities named Lisa Larson to the post. Larson has been serving as acting president at North Hennepin since last June. Former North Hennepin president John O'Brien is now MnSCU's senior vice chancellor of academic and student affairs. Coming up, a branding reboot. What goes into remaking the image of a city? We'll take a look up next.
And then later in sports, Park Center's girls basketball team gets set for a big showdown with Centennial.
But first, a forecast you're probably not going to like. After a warmer Friday, we return to the freezer. One of the first big steps in Brooklyn Park's new branding effort kicked off this week.
Representatives from the public relations firm Carmichael Lynch Spong met with residents to learn more about what they like and dislike about Brooklyn Park. Delane Cleveland has more.
Brooklyn Park has received plenty of positive coverage in recent memory. New businesses continue to sprout up along Highway 610, and the city has seen a reduction in crime.
We have this bad reputation.
However,
we may have earned it way back when.
Have you say your name?
Some say the city still has a negative reputation.
To be honest, my dad didn't want me working here. He doesn't like the area.
Everybody just kind of, oh, really, you live there? It's the crime-ridden thing. It's like I live down in a ghetto or something like this. And it's just totally false.
To get that message across, Brooklyn Park hired Carmichael Lynch Spong.
Certainly hiring us won't do it in and of itself. What we can do really where our expertise is storytelling and helping kind of amplify some of the best parts of the city.
City officials say the $150,000 price tag to hire the PR firm was a necessary investment.
The goals of the branding work are really about investment in the community. We'd like to see businesses come here, stay here, invest here. We also are always looking to attract residents.
Kim Berggren specifically highlighted the 1,500 acres of undeveloped land in the northern part of the city as a big reason for the branding campaign.
We want to make sure we're attracting quality investment up in that area and we get the best development that we can get.
Whether it pays off remains to be seen, but in the meantime, people who live and work here say they're excited the city is making the effort.
It's needed. If we don't do that, Brooklyn Park is still going to have that persona of crime and bad things that really it's not all that prevalent here.
In Brooklyn Park, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
Representatives from Carmichael Lynch Spong say they'll continue gathering information over the next couple of months, but won't begin telling the city's story until about May. Coming up, a standout student who doubles as a singer-songwriter.
But first in sports, some big changes are coming for high school football scheduling. John Jacobson has that, plus Terry Tuma's ice fishing tip when we come back.
John's in now with a decisive girls basketball game to tell us about.
It's a big one coming up, and then Park Center, I think, wants a little revenge on Centennial after their showing earlier this season. There's still plenty of season left, but Friday's girls basketball game between Park Center and Centennial will go a long way toward deciding the Northwest Suburban Conference title. As Jay Wilcox reports, the Pirates are ready to shine.
It's one of the biggest regular season games in a long time for the Park Center girls basketball program, and the girls can't wait.
We're extremely excited. We know this is a big game. This is a game to for the conference championship, and Centennial's a big rival for us. I know I've been battling against them since 6th grade, ever since traveling, and yeah, we're really excited for this game.
In their only real off night of the season, the Pirates lost at Centennial 83-66 in the first conference game back in early December. They're eager to prove they're better than they looked that night.
I'm excited that we get another chance against them. The first time, we didn't really play how, it was like the beginning of the season, so we weren't really like in our full groove, but I'm excited.
I think we are more ready. We've played more games. We've gotten closer as a team. I mean, every team gets better as the season goes along, and I think we've been playing better now than we were December 5th when we played them at Centennial.
Park Center is 8-1 in Northwest Suburban games with Centennial at 10-0. Park Center's lone conference title in the sport came in the late 70s, so getting one this season would be a big deal.
The one that's up there, 1979, that's the year I was born. So for these girls, that's a long time ago, ancient history. And they really want to make an impact and make some noise for Park Center in that way. And the fact that we're in a position to compete for one right now this late in the season is a good thing, a good goal that they set out for themselves at the beginning of the year.
It'll be huge. We haven't won a conference championship since 1979, and this will mean a lot for Park Center as a school.
Park Center's already proven to be a good team. Knocking off Centennial would solidify them as an elite squad. Jay Wilcox, 12 Sports.
The Pirates and Centennial tip off at 7 o'clock Friday night at Park Center High School. While local schools are closed today because of the extreme cold, the State High School League was busy. Football scheduling was a main topic at a league board meeting. The league's board of directors today approved a new district scheduling format for the regular season in response to schools having trouble filling an 8-game schedule. Starting in 2015, teams would be grouped into districts based on school size, geography, strength of program, and other factors. Districts would ideally include at least 16 teams, and schools would then play all of the regular season games within their district. The playoffs would not change. The 5 Lake Conference schools, including Wayzata and Hopkins, have had difficulty finding enough opponents to play a full schedule in recent seasons, and they weren't alone. District groupings will be decided at a later date, and again, this takes effect for the 2015 season. Also in that season, the board approved an opening date for practice of August 10th. The prep will be earlier than normal that year because of scheduling conflicts at the University of Minnesota's TCF Bank Stadium, leading to a decision to start the season earlier. Also, softball will expand from 3 classes to 4 for playoff competition in 2 years. Tonight's not a bad day of fishing because if you're on an ice house, that is, on a warmer day though, we caught up with Tackle Terry Tuma for this week's Channel 12 Ice Fishing Tip.
We have all the experience, including myself. A lot of these tangles with your lures and line, from putting them in the rod carrying cases, throwing them in a bucket. And we all know, of course, about this hook holder or hook retainer that's on your rod, but they do come loose. Your lures are going to come off. And a good way to avoid that is just go to the hardware store and buy these rubber O-rings and just get the proper size. They're very inexpensive, by the way. They're usually black in color, and all you have to do then is just roll it up either ahead of the reel or behind the reel, and then just put your lure hook right underneath it or in it, and now you got a very secure hooking, and it's going to work for your jigging shad wraps, for vertical jigging spoons, and so forth. But it's a wonderful way of securing your bait, your lures, and now you're going to avoid any of this unnecessary hassle when you're out ice fishing, especially with cold hands and so forth. We don't need to go out there and have a big tangled mess. Give it a try. You're going to be more successful, but you're going to spend more time ice fishing. Be sure to tune next week for another tip, and take a kid fishing this week.
And you can. They're out of school.
That's right.
Yeah,
They're out of
that's
school.
right.
Yeah, just keep them warm.
Wear gloves. Yeah,
Right, yes.
wear gloves.
Friday night, a big game in boys basketball, Champlain Park and Armstrong. I want to preview that Friday starting at 4.
Okay, thanks a lot, John. Still ahead, a wonderful way to remember a popular teacher.
What one student did that makes her this week's standout student. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Every student at the Purpich School in Golden Valley is involved in the arts.
But one student has taken her education to the next level by releasing her own album. Cassie Bonstrom has more in this week's Standout Student.
For Kaleigh Herter, coming to Purpich was the best decision she's ever made.
No need to apologize, I should have made it right, I know, I should have known better.
Here, her school day includes singing with an ensemble, rehearsing for the spring musical, and surrounding herself with people who share a similar passion for music.
Most things in my life don't happen unless music is involved.
But it was one teacher in particular who encouraged Kaleigh to take her love of singing and songwriting one step further.
He was fantastic.
Aaron Hilden was Kaleigh's former teacher and mentor. He encouraged Kaleigh to make her own album.
He taught me everything I know about recording, everything I know about sound, pretty much.
Aaron died unexpectedly last fall. Kaleigh decided to move forward in his honor, and this month released her first CD, appropriately titled Hilden.
Pretty much this whole album wouldn't have happened without Aaron Hilden.
But while the album might be her biggest accomplishment so far, teacher Janice Hunton says Kaleigh's best qualities are her leadership and charisma.
She has been really instrumental in bringing the whole department together in ways that I don't think any other student really has. She can talk to anybody and make them feel welcome and make them feel included.
That, combined with her voice and ambition, and no one doubts that Kaleigh is destined for great things.
So I definitely see her as continuing a career as a singer-songwriter. The world deserves that from her.
I try really, really hard, so I'm glad that things come out of it.
In Golden Valley, Cassie Bonstrom, 12 News.
Next fall, she is headed to Columbia College in Chicago to study arts management and, of course, to sing as well. If you'd like to visit her website and download her music, we will have a link on our website. That's 12.tv. And what a nice tribute to her teacher.
I know, smart girl.
Absolutely. That's all the news for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
We'll see you tomorrow. Community Corner's up next.